So for our first question, I'll ask the first, and then I'll ask some. So, what in your words, sort of, what is hypnosis for you?
Yeah, so hypnosis is a way where you can speak to your subconscious mind. So probably the question that I guess needs to come before that is, rather than what's hypnosis, is explaining the difference between what is often called the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And probably the easiest way to explain this is when I say subconscious, well, the first part of that is sub, like submarine means below or beneath.
So,
Okay, so sub means beneath, and conscious is what you're aware of. Okay, so sub means beneath, just like a submarine, and conscious means the things that you're aware of or not. So when I say subconscious, well, this is the part of your mind that does the things that you're not aware of. Okay, an example of this is blinking. Okay, now you can blink on purpose, but most of the time it just happens and you don't need to think about it. Okay, so it's something that just occurs. Another example, like if you were to right now, if you were to like cross your arms, it's most likely the case that you would cross your arms with the same arm over every single time you do it. And when you try and do it the other way, it's kind of weird, it doesn't feel very right. Okay, and so that's one example of things just happening automatically. Okay, you don't need to think about it. Another example is when you do your shirt up. It's just automatic now. Like, but when you were little, it was like so hard, but now it's easy, right? So these are some of the things that can be below your conscious awareness. Now, the way I like to put it is we've got the first thing I like to let people your age know is it's not like Captain Underpants. It doesn't work like that. You've probably you've seen that TV show, I'm guessing. Yeah, so it's not like that. I can't make someone do anything they don't want to do. A good way of understanding is we've got the front of our mind, which is the conscious, and the back of our mind, which is the subconscious. Now, let's say that we've got a ship, okay, and on board that ship, we've got the captain and we've got the crew. The captain is your conscious mind, right? He's in charge of everything. He knows where he wants to go, how he wants to do it, and that sort of thing. The crew, they're your subconscious mind. They take care of everything, okay? And now if on board that ship, the captain wants one thing, and the crew, 100 people, want something else, they're going to throw the captain overboard. Okay, so sometimes people come to me for bad habits, or maybe they're worried about something or fearful about something that they know it doesn't make any sense. It's like, I know that I'm good at this thing, but why do I get scared about it? And so it doesn't make any logical sense. And so I'm kind of like the first mate on board the ship to say, okay, captain, tell me what you need. And then I give that back to the crew or the subconscious in a way it understands. Okay. And now, so that's kind of my quick explanation of hypnosis. You know, I could go on for ages about it, but that's kind of like a good simplified way of understanding what it is. Oh, while I think about it.
Thank you. So Noah, what's your question?
Yep. I was just going to say, so while I think about it, probably a more advanced way of thinking about what is hypnosis. Step one is you absorb someone's attention. Okay, step one, I want to get someone's attention. Okay. Step two, I want to bypass their conscious mind. Okay, so avoid what they're aware of. Step three is I stimulate their subconscious mind. So I'm talking to a part of them that they're not necessarily aware of. So that's probably more of an advanced way of explaining it.
Yeah, thank you. So then there's Noah's question, which is
I was going to ask, how does hypnosis work, and what do you really do to put them in that trance?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and there's so many different answers for that. I'm actually trained in different styles of hypnosis. One is the style where it's like close your eyes, and I get them to use their imagination. I might say, imagine all of your problems like stones in your hand, and you're at the beach, and you can let those problems go. And then I'll have them imagine themselves in the future without having the problem. Okay, now I don't do that straight away. At first, I've got to get them really relaxed. I've got to help their conscious mind to kind of go on standby. And then I help them use their imagination to see these things or to feel these things. Okay, that's one style. That's the main style of hypnosis. But I'm also trained in something called conversational hypnosis. And it doesn't even look like hypnosis. It looks like a conversation. It looks like people talking. It might be a bit of a strange kind of conversation because throughout that conversation, the client in front of me just begins to feel different about the problem. So by the end of the conversation, they feel totally different and they don't even know how because their eyes were open and they were talking the whole time. Okay? So I'm able to help people just through conversation where it doesn't even seem like they're hypnotized. But what matters is how different they feel about the problem at the end. Like some people would say they come in with a fear or something they're afraid of. Maybe they know that it's not real. They know that it will never happen, but they're scared about it anyway. Well, I will sometimes just through a few questions, I will just kind of get into their mind and scramble up the problem. And so when they try and think back about the problem again, it's all scrambled and they can't even have the problem anymore. So that's probably one of the ways that I really love because it's like, it's kind of confusing and it's kind of fun. And afterwards, they sometimes laugh about the thing that was such a problem to begin with. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you. And then Marcus, you can ask your question.
So how does hypnosis impact society?
Oh, there's so many ways. So I do it on, I guess you would call a small level or a micro level, because I help people one-on-one. Okay, so say for example, let me give you a normal sort of scenario. So say for example, someone comes into my office and maybe they, what's a good example? Maybe they have a fear of something, okay? Maybe they have a fear of, what's a good one? What's a good one? So maybe they've got a fear of going out in public. Okay, maybe they are worried about other people judging them or something like that. And so therefore that person, they don't even go out in public very much because it's like, oh, I get so nervous when I'm out at the shops and I think people are looking at me and they're judging me. And they know that no one really cares. They know that those other people are just minding their own business. They're just going through their life, okay? And so someone can have a session or a few sessions here and then they're no longer scared. They're no longer worried about going out in public. So they can just go out. And I had a lady a few weeks ago and she had some kids. I don't know how, I can't remember how old they were, maybe about your ages, but she wasn't even able to really take them to sports and events and different things like that because she was just so worried about what other people were thinking. And so she would basically just stay home and it was, not a lot going on. But since having some sessions here, she's now able to connect with her kids better. She's now going out on sports. She's making new friends because she's not so scared about what other people think anymore. Okay, so that's going to help her life. It's going to help her kids' life. She's going to make more friends. And that can create a little bit of a ripple effect through society because she might talk to her friend, that she meets. And she might say, hey, I went and saw this hypnotherapist and he helped me with this thing. And her friend might go, oh, well, I'm a smoker. Do you think it can help with that? And she'll say, well, give him a call and find out. And that's another example. Like if someone sees me for smoking, that costs most people about $10,000 a year or more in money. And often it costs them years of life. And then they have to, I don't know if you guys have parents that smoke, but it's like they go outside every couple of hours and so you miss out on that. And so, when I had a lady I think it was this week actually, she said that now she's spending more time with her kids. She's like, I've got all this time, the house is clean, everything's organized, and my kids are so happy. It's like, you guys are about 12, aren't you? 11 or 12? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had
We're about 12. Yes.
yeah, I had a lady. It was this week. She's got a 12-year-old, and she's like, he is just so happy. He's like, Mum, you're not smoking, like. And he checked with her a week later because she was coming for her follow-up session, and he's like, you're still not smoking, and he's just over the moon because what that means for him. So that's kind of the differences, the kind of the difference that I get to make in the world, which is pretty cool.
Anything else on that question? Or
Yeah, unless you guys have got something. No, like I think that's kind of.
good. Yeah. Well, we have one more question for our thing. It's what's your perspective on hypnosis?
My perspective. The way I look at it is often, like, I'll give you two answers, okay? The first answer is my perspective matters less than my client's perspective in front of me, okay? So I might see some shifts in them and I might go, okay, I'm noticing something happening with them. But unless they notice it, unless they go, wow, this is amazing, then my perspective of it isn't as relevant. It's more important to have them really discover what it feels like for them inside. But my perspective, like, that's one answer. The other answer, my perspective, I love it. I think that I'm a powerful force for good in the world. And whilst I can't help every person with everything, I can help most people most of the time. And I've been here just up at Coomera, just near Dreamworld, for 6 years now. And I've now got 2 other hypnotherapists working here as well. So, we're all just this, a powerful force for good, and I love it. Yeah. How does that answer the question?
That's cool. Is there anything else you want to talk
about? Nothing I can think of. I think I've covered like some of the main points that
anything to do with your.
Oops, sorry. Go on. There's the lag is terrible.
Yeah, the lag's really bad today, but we got pretty bad. Wi-Fi hasn't been very good, but anyway, yeah. So, just anything. Is there anything else that kind of comes with your job, like what you do every day to like help people and stuff? Anything else?
Probably, I guess, just some of the things that it can help with. From fears, from anger issues. I had a kid, maybe a little bit older than you guys, for sports performance, like basketball. Like, he's a great player, but he was getting in his own head and he was worried, and so he wasn't, he's thinking too much instead of just going with it. And he had a couple of sessions and now he's dominating on the court. I've seen other people your age for like exam anxiety, test anxiety, and things like that, or worrying about other people. My colleague next door, he had a guy recently who had it sounds strange, but he had a fear of walking. He had and something happened to him and he lost balance and things like that, and he had to rehabilitate. But it developed into a phobia of walking. And so he hadn't walked outside of his house, barely, for like 5 years. And since, this was my colleague's client, but since his sessions with Daniel, he's actually been walking 5Ks a day. So it can help with things like nail biting, fears, phobias, confidence, sports performance, weight loss, bad habits like smoking or too much alcohol. I've helped people with some really weird stuff as well that you go, what is that? How does that even happen? So I guess to lead you on this point is our minds, there's so much that we're capable of that we really don't even understand, and we never will. But we can all overcome things without even knowing how. Like in your life, you've overcome things. Like if you think about your first year at school, like year one or even before, when the teacher brought the book around with the ABCs, right? And it was like so much. There's a little a, but there's a big A. It's the same letter, but it's totally different. And then you've got a B and a P. They look the same. It's just upside down. And you go, like, think about what that was like way back when you were little. It's like you couldn't even put into words how big a problem that was. Now you look back, it's no big deal, right? Just like riding a bike. It's like at first it was like, oh my God, I keep falling off. Oh, but now it's like riding a bike, that's like nothing. Right? So we all have this ability to overcome things without even knowing how. And this is something that I utilize in therapy with people. It's like I get into that part of their mind that knows how to overcome things without even knowing how. So it's just beautiful. So that's probably a great point to leave it on, I think. Yeah, unless there's anything else any other questions you've got.
No, I don't think you haven't got anything, Marcus. No, I think
Cool.
yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of what we because yeah. Thank
Awesome.
you.
My pleasure. And if there's any other thing, any follow-up questions that you've got later on, just send me an email and I'll answer them for you over email. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys.
Oh, bye.
See you later.
Thank you.